remarkable moment in life is when you meet that person who makes you feel complete. That person who makes the world a better, beautiful, and magical place. The person with whom you share a bond so special that it transcends normal relationships and becomes something so pure and so wonderful and so peaceful that you can't imagine spending another day in your life without them. I know how deeply these two care for and love one another, and I feel privileged to be here today among all of you as a witness of their commitment to a lifetime of love for one another. I think I've had the good fortune to meet each and every one of you here at one point or another. But for those of you who I don't know, my name is Jeff Nyberg, and I've been a friend of Zach's for a long, long time. Now, Zach and Brooke have asked me to keep this speech short and family-friendly, and politely asked me to leave out stories that are unflattering to one of them might have. So I've had to redline a few stories. But I do feel comfortable in saying to both of you that I told you so. It was obvious from the first time I saw you both together. And as a third-party spectator to the developing love, it was extremely clear that the two of them represent the perfect pairing because each of them complements the other so well. They balance one another, and while each of them are tremendous individuals on their own, together they're even better. And being better together as a team, as a unit, as partners in crime, is what has been years in the making, and ultimately leads us to being here today, witnessing their commitment to one another in front of us. I wish I could tell you a single story about Zach and Brooke that summarizes their relationship and how they enrich each other's lives, and how they enrich each one of our lives. But the truth is, there isn't a single good encapsulation of what they mean to me, to each other, and to all of us. But what I do know is that both of them care deeply and passionately for one another. They protect each other. They make each other laugh, and they think outside of themselves. They help each other in ways that are obvious and unnoticed, but always appreciated. I also know that it's not with just anyone who you can have communication with by simply that look. And they do that for one another with kindness and understanding. But it is also my personal experiences with Zach and Brooke that highlight the quality of their love. It doesn't matter whether I'm with them in person or simply on a phone call, at which Zach now always puts me on speakerphone. While I'm engaging with them, I'm always enjoying myself. There's always laughter and there's always banter. And I'm certain that that's part of what makes them so special to each one of us. And I wish for them on their wedding day of their lifetime together as a team is one of complete contentment, full of those moments that they wish would never end, and that they continue to make one another smile and laugh as they make each one of us smile and laugh. With all of my pre-ceremony questions, I go through a series of questions with the bride and groom. That's the fun part. While I ask scripted questions and wait for the answer, it's not the answer itself that I'm waiting to hear back. Rather, how they respond as a couple to the questions. With Zach and Brooke, the answers were almost always us and we. Not ever I and me. And that's the life that these two are going to lead together. A life of us and we. Their faith is important, and that's obvious. This was evidenced by there not being a question of whether God be included in this ceremony. Their family and friends are important. This is evidenced by all of you here today, and the ones that are here in spirit, such as Grandpa Howard. Animals and the outdoors are important. Hunting is important. And their faithfulness and love are the foundation of all of that. With that, as I was contemplating this ceremony, I thought of the likeness of the Canadian goose and the lifelong partners that they are, and their similarities to God. It just kept coming back to me over and over as I thought about this ceremony and the significance and the synonymous messages we both learned from Scripture and for the Canadian goose. When geese choose their nest, they choose a spot in which they can see in several directions. Peter 5:8, likewise, says, "Be sober-minded, be watchful. Your adversary, the devil, prowls like a roaring lion, seeking someone to devour." Zach and Brooke, watch out for each other. Guard each other. Your love and your family need to be guarded. Be sober-minded. Be watchful of yourselves and of each other. The female goose chooses the location, but both build a nest. Likewise, Matthew 7:8, "The rain came down, the streams rose, and the winds blew and beat against the house, yet it did not fall, because it had its foundation on rock." Zachary and Brooke, build your foundation on rock. Let your rock be truth and transparency and kindness and fortitude for each other and for your family. Both geese protect and guide and lead their young. Likewise, Proverbs 22:6 is, "Train a child in which they should go, and when they are old, they shall not depart from it." Zach and Brooke, protect your children. Guide them with your combined love and knowledge. Lead them with the wisdom you have and you will receive throughout your lives together. Keep in mind, this takes a village. Incorporate them with your flock, being your family and your friends that are here today and the ones that will come in the future. Migration is an energy-intensive endeavor. When geese fly together, each one cuts the resistance for the ones behind it. Flying point requires more energy. The heart rate of the trailing birds is about 15% slower, so the birds take turns doing it. By switching frequently between leading and trailing positions, the birds get to where they're going more quickly. In many cases, their journey is over 3,000 miles. Likewise, Galatians 6:8 reads, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Zach and Brooke, finding yourselves as strengths and weaknesses, make your flight path and collectively decide when to lead and when to drop back. Your flock of family and your friends are all here on this journey with you. Do not quit. Fly when the time permits and rest when rest is needed. Never lose your faith in the Lord. If you become weary, fall back on this time-tested commitment of the Canadian goose as you refine and recollect and regain your faith in Jesus Christ and your flight together. After all, the Canadian goose predates Jesus Christ over 1,000 years, but Jesus Christ will save your marriage and your souls for an eternity together. So, without further ado, it is now time. Miss Mandy, you have the name? Yes, ma'am. Zachary, place the ring on her. Repeat after me, please. I, Zachary, take you, Brooke, to be my wife, to have and to hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, until death do us part. Place the ring on Zach's hand, please. Repeat after me. I, Brooke, take you, Zach, to be my husband, to have and hold from this day forward, for better or for worse, for richer or for poorer, in sickness and in health, to love and to cherish, until death do us part. By the power vested in me by the state of Wisconsin, I now pronounce you man and wife. You may kiss the bride. Face the crowd. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Zachary and Brooke